Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be reviewing the MX Keys S full layout keyboard. So I just got this keyboard and I can tell you, it caught me by surprise in a good way. Today we'll be walking through a review on this keyboard to see how it compares to some others. Unfortunately, this is the only keyboard I have. So how does this keyboard actually compare? Let's start off with what we all actually want to see. The sound test. So, the sound is actually quite quiet. And this is something I personally like. This sound isn't too loud, and when you're typing away, it doesn't disturb anyone in your house or yourself. The one thing I don't like though is that when I'm typing, it just feels wrong because it has these indents in the keys and it's obviously where you're meant to place your fingers, and it's just off-putting when you're typing fast. I'm definitely not used to it. In the past, I've always had mechanical keyboards for gaming and such. But this one is very different. I've never had something quite like this. I don't mind it, but personally, when I'm typing, I find I'm often making mistakes. Maybe because at work I use a Mac keyboard and I'm used to that. The difference is quite large. The flat keys versus the indented keys. With the low profile Gillette switches, these ones I've seen around, but nothing like these. But I must say, I love the volume of it, and the look and the feel of the overall keyboard is quite amazing. And this is what I was surprised about. Not only can you connect up to 3 different devices, I can take it anywhere. It's wireless. I don't have to plug it in. And it's an easy USB-C charging port, which is something that, your keyboards typically tend to have, but it's just convenient because it's what we all have. But how does this compare to others on the market? Well, of course, that depends on what type of keyboard you're actually looking for. There are so many on the market today. I've been doing research myself on another keyboard to try. And all I can find are thousands of keyboard options. And I was overwhelmed. I was like, where the hell do I start? What keyboard do I get? And that's when I'm like, well, why don't I make my own? But I didn't end up doing that. Instead, I just added the stuff to my cart because you got to be responsible with your money and actually save it. So it's still sitting in my cart. Okay, what about some other aspects of the keyboard though? As we can see, it's quite large and has a substantially good battery life. Why is this? Because it has a 1500 milliamp battery in this keyboard. And it has these very nice ambient lights underneath. I'm actually quite a fan of this because it's nothing like in your face, but you can just slightly see it if you look at it at the right angle. If you look on it straight on from the top, you can barely notice it's there, especially with the keys directly facing at you. This is understandable, but I really love the fact that you can see it when it's sitting how it's meant to sit. And this just, at night time allows you to easily see the keys, which is great, fantastic. You can type away, doing what you need to do. I've had a lot of keyboards where there was no RGB or lighting, and I'm just like, how am I meant to type on this when it's dark? Sure, I just put a light on, but what if I want low lighting or if I'm somewhere where it's difficult to get light? And it also has 10 meters of wireless range. I'm not sure why you'd be typing that far away, but hey, it has the ability to, so why not, I guess? You could hook it up to your computer and connect your computer to your TV and just be sitting on the couch typing away. Not that I would recommend that, but that is something you could do. if you wanted to. Now here are the specs of the keyboard. It is the full layout. It is larger than I like. I prefer a 70%, but you know, you do have the option of the numpad, which I do love. Unlike when I can use the numpad, I do. When I'm entering numbers, you know, your 2FA, verification codes, you always use them. Numpad I go to, it's my go-to. Or copy paste from the email or from another. But aside from that, you know, it's quite large. You need a pretty big desk. Obviously, if you're getting a full keyboard anyway, you tend to have one. But overall, I think the keyboard's great. If you're just someone who's going to use it at the office or just at home, casually, you know, the sound is perfect because you're not interrupting anyone, and it also allows you to type quickly, efficiently, and it's just great. Personally though, I wouldn't buy this keyboard because of the feel of the keys. The feel of the keys are very important to me. I'm someone who relies on kind of like, you know, when I'm typing, to type quickly, the feel has to be right, and the sound's not too important, but obviously it sounds nice when you're typing. I do prefer the quiet switch, which is why this is kind of like up there for me, but it doesn't really meet the full expectations of what I would want to buy because of the key feel. However, you know, I'm glad I tried it. I got the opportunity to use it and see if it was for me. But if you're someone who doesn't really care about the keycap feel and is open to this indented feel, I would say everything aside from that is perfect. And that's just a personal preference. It's very fast, responds really quickly, turns on, has high battery life, recharges rapidly. I really couldn't ask for a better keyboard aside from the keycaps. If you're someone who would get this keyboard, comment down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. That brings us to today's video reviewing the MX Keys S keyboard. I hope you enjoyed. Please, if you want to watch another video like this, click on the video linked. See you next time.